I'm super excited about this. You're going to see an early preview of Genesis 3. This is a raw demo, and I'm going to focus today on the creation process. The next video will be on what happens once we create it. But perhaps the most exciting aspect for the last 25 years and perhaps for the last 36 years I've been in simulation is how can you create simulations in a way that's easy, that someone doesn't have any knowledge in 3D can do. And we're going to experience that firsthand today. The idea is that there's basically a number of questions, 11 questions, one question at a time with clear options, guided for every step, and you can do this type of training anywhere, simulate anything, teach anyone. Okay, so without further ado, let's get started. So the first thing you're going to do is step one is get the 3D objects. Eon has a product called Eon 3D Objects that can generate any object you want. From a picture, it can generate the parts. I can, in this case, look at a library and I can select different items. For this, I'm going to select something rather advanced. It's going to be a fin fan isolation. So I'm going to click on that. You can see that we're using a viewer that makes it very fast. I can zoom in into this environment. I can make it bigger. I will see all the components here. I can stop at any time, escape, and here's my model, right? Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I need an environment. So for this, I can select, for example, this environment or this environment, but I'm going to go for industrial twilight, something that I feel fits pretty well. Okay, there we go. You can see the environment has been added, and you can see that we are in a 3D space. This is a preview. I can obviously make a full screen, or I can go to the next component. For now, we have an object, we have environment. The next thing is to label the components. So here, what's happening is that there are a number of components, and you can see if I explode this slowly, you can see that these components are individuals. For these elements, you can look at it. And I can click on different parts. For example, these are the pipes. Now, how is that working? What's behind? What's the secret behind it? So we have a way to auto-detect components. So essentially, it's looking at the various components. If there is already predefined names, let's say in a CAD system, it looks at that. But then the AI verifies those names versus also what they see. So in this case, walk away and structure primitive, right? So we have all the components here in real life and well identified. Now, the next thing is now we get into the magic part. So one of the magical aspects of this is how do I know which device does what? So for example, Evolve does rotate, right? I can go in here manually and I can say open and close or highlight. So this is the old way to do it. In fact, this is the more advanced way to do it. The real old to do is to code each component here. So I would go in for each of every component and do it. Now, with us, you have an auto-configure interaction, which means that the AI analyzes each label and assigns, with a certain level of confidence, an interaction for each component. And this happens automatically and very, very quickly. So we have got an object, we got the environment, we label this. Based on labels, and what you see is able to actually suggest interactions for each of one. And obviously what I'll do here is I have to review those interactions, and then when I see what I like, if it's done, it confirms all the components, right? So most of this is automatically, there is very limited manual control. So now I have this, the next step, and is to define the procedure. So I have three options. I can import a document, which I'll do in this case, but I want to go through. I can pick a recipe. So Eon has different recipes. Here's one of them, fin fan isolation. I can select that if I want and load that recipe. So this is a predefined recipe. I can have AI to generate the procedure. So this is automatically. But let's say in this case, I want to actually load a real fan isolation process. So here we go. I load it. So in this case, it loaded pretty quickly because I had it already in my memory. But it takes very, very few steps here. Everything happens much faster with AI than humans. And you can see the copy here, and I can go through the document. I can confirm and continue. So now we enter magic. What I mean, you're going to see something you've never seen before ever. So what happened, I don't know if you noticed, is that it took, the magic consists without human input, that AI reads the procedure from step 5, looks at the label meshes from step 3, checks the installation from step 4, and puts it together in a training draft. And here you can see the training draft. This contains the labels, the interaction, the sounds, the effects, and it's done very quickly. This alone would have taken us weeks. Forget about the modeling, forget about making sure that all the labels are right. This is now, obviously, it's AI, so we want to verify everything. So we want to change something if something is not okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the next step, and that's what we call human review. So here I have the ability to see if AI got this right? So I can go in full screen. If I want, I can zoom out here. I can go back, rotate this. And meanwhile, what's happened is that it put it all together. So what happened in the previous step, I can just play. So I'm going to be quiet for a while, and I'm going to analyze. And what I'm going to do, I have a piece of paper here, and I'm validating the SOP and taking notes, what's right and wrong. And if there's something that's wrong, I can talk, and this is the next invention. So rather than me now having to code, I can just tell him different things that are maybe that I want to adjust, or effects that I want to make bigger. And we're going to do both. Let's start with the first step, which is let's play and see what AI has generated for us. Keep in mind, what you're going to see now, no human interaction. The AI knows the environment, knows the labels, knows the type of interaction, is aware of the procedures, has put that together in a draft, which I'm going to play now. So, let's go.
Verify work permit, verify equipment tag, don PPE, notify control room, press stop on local panel.
So these are things that...
Walk to motor control center, open MCC breaker. Apply Lodo padlock to breaker. Attach danger tag. Verify 0 voltage at motor terminal box. Re-verify voltmeter on known live source. Close inlet block valve. Apply Lodo padlock to inlet valve.
So I'm checking everything against the list.
Close outlet block valve. Apply Lodo padlock to outlet valve. Open bleed relief valve. Verify pressure gauge reads 0.
So I think you understand what's
Drain
going
residual
on.
fluid.
In interest of time, I may not play the whole thing. I'll only play the first 20 steps. It's a pretty complex step-by-step
Wait for
procedure.
cooldown. Verify tube bundle temperature.
You can see here that this was something done automatically without me intervening.
Tryout test, attempt start. Wait for fan blades to stop. Verify fans stopped. Remove fan guard. Inspect fan blades.
Okay.
Inspect louvers.
I think we got it. So now I actually saw a few things that were, most of it, actually surprisingly, probably 90% was correct. But let's say there's something I want to do different. So at this point, what I can do is just do this. I'll start here and say highlight. So this is when I'm actually giving input and what we call conversational approach. So highlight the outlet valve in yellow. Okay, I'll send that. So this programming is happening now based on commands like ChatGPT. You notice it became yellow. I don't know if you noticed, but the blades turning on and off was not working the way I wanted. So let's say I want to turn the blades off, or I want to turn the blades on. So let's start turning the blades off. Let's say if they are on. So this is an animation which normally would have taken me quite a lot of time. So now let's see if it's doing it. Applying. There we go. And you notice they stopped. And now let's do the opposite. Let's say I want to turn the blades on. Okay. There we go. Okay, so we can also do physics, we can do particles, we can, for example, make smoke bleed from a valve. That's very much possible here. Let's look at that. Okay, I could probably adjust that smoke. So I can fine-tune this the way I like it until I'm happy with it. Now, you notice here that everything is tabulated. I can click Save. And then once I've done that, I'll go to the next step in the process. And now I define the training modality. The default product modality is 4 steps. The first one is show me. Watch and learn. The system demonstrates the entire process as a guide, what we saw now. The next one is train, which is a guided procedure. You get hints, what you should do next, and you have to stay on track. The next one is let me try. This is silent practice, no hints, but mistakes are tracked. And the last part is evaluate me. So you get a timed assessment and you are on the spot. So now you have to actually, depending which modality you'll use, you have to interact physically. Okay? So now let's go to next, start training. So one decision is to decide where will trainee access this, right? Will it be on a desktop? Will it be on a mobile tablet? Will it be on a VR, AR device? Will it be on a VR headset? So depending here what I'm selecting, let's say I select this, it will help to define the training lesson. Now, the user can actually change, let's say he can start on one device and also change to another. Now, next one is, once we have that, we need to decide interaction and guided modality. So the default here, because I selected desktop, is to have HeyGen. HeyGen is a verbal agent that can help me, guide me. It can do it by pointing things like I've done in the previously. You can have a drone. You can also have Mixamo, which is a 3D animated character in the environment that walks around and does it. You can even have virtual hands. That's when you become like a game participant in this. So this is, let's say I go for HeyGen now, and I continue next. So this is a preview of what the trainee, because I'm creating, we will measure, right? So we'll measure the passing score, the attempts. We'll track the time. I can turn this on and off. I can see overall score, step by step, the leaderboard, how many, if something needs attention. So all these are things that we actually can check. We also have things like gamification. We have leaderboards. We have oral assessment. We obviously have this instructor dashboard that consolidates everything. And oral assessment is that we need to also understand if he really got why he did and why he did a mistake, so, or she did. Okay, so now once we've done that, then we go to publish. So now I can check my, okay, it's desktop, mobile, tablet. I can see which training configuration I have. I can see my training summary. I can see if it's private, team, organization wide. And now I'm ready to publish. And voila, here's my fine isolation, 41 steps. And all I need to do is to start, and that will guide me to the play mode. So on that note, this is a very simple introduction, and you can see you don't need a lot of knowledge. It is truly revolutionary. We delegate the rudimentary things to AI, but the human is in control. So with that, I look forward to do the next video with you, which will be the play experience. Thank you.